Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat at welcome po tayo sa ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross sa Radyo Pilipinas. At ngayon po ay ikalawang linggo ng buwan ng Mayo. May 14, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day sa lahat po ng mga nanay, sa lahat po ng ating mga nanay. Happy Mother's Day po at syempre nais nating pasalamatan ng bumubuo ng ating programa ang ating taga Philippine Broadcasting Service. Siyempre si Director Bong Aportadera, ang station manager po, si Sir Alan Alyanige at si Sir Ray Sampang. At sa Philippine Red Cross naman po, ang ating Chairman and CEO, Richard J. Gordon, ang ating Secretary General, Dr. Gwendolyn Pang, ang ating Vice Chairman po, syempre po ang ating si Governor Corazon Alma de Leon, at syempre ang iba pang mga kasamang board at volunteers, ang mga board of directors sa mga chapters. Welcome po dito sa ating programa. Samahan niyo po kami sa loob ng 1 oras at talakayan dito sa nagaganap sa Philippine Red Cross. At ngayon makakasama na po natin via Zoom Governor Corazon Alma de Leon, ang ating Vice Chairman. Magandang hapon po.
Thank you very much. Ngayon gusto ko lang ipakilala ang unang portion ng ating programa ay si Jonna Lazarte, nandito na siya, Administrator ng PRC Guimaras Chapter, and of course si Andrei Alegria, Red Cross Youth, PRC Guimaras Chapter. Thank you for joining. Bibigay muna natin ang message na pinadala ni retired Chairman, the Supreme Court Justice Hilarion Davida Jr. Ang sabi niya, this beautiful Sunday, the 14th of May, is Mother's Day. We honor best our mothers with this message. None of us can claim to have the gift of perfect memory. Howsoever, we must never forget two people in our lives, our mother, who is always with us in every pain, from birth to death, and even when the world hates us to increase our gain. Our father, who lost everything just to make us in life's battles. Without a mother and a father, none of us could have been born into this world. And God himself has put us forth in his 10 commandments, the duty, honor your father and mother. We offend our God of life and love, forget our mother and father. Let us always pray for them. We love you all, dearest mothers. Happy Mother's Day to
Yes,
one and
Happy
all.
Mother's
At
Day po.
tamang-tama, nandito na tayo para sa ating interview regarding the Guimaras Chapter. Kasi ito'y narating ko na ito ang Guimaras, ano? Pero marami tayong gustong malaman. Bisita natin na si Jonna ng Guimaras Chapter. Administrator siya.
Governor
siguro
Cora, may kasama
Yes,
po
go
silang
ahead.
may kasama po silang board.
Oh.
Si Ma'am Joyce Eledia. Siya po yung secretary to the board na pinalitan po nung ating yung kanilang chairman na si Engineer Robin Corpus.
Okay, wala pa siya sa picture o siya na?
Andyan na po yata. Si connecting daw po eh. Pero anyway,
Okay,
umpisahan na natin.
connecting. Ikaw muna, Jonna, mag-greet at saka si Andrei Alegria to start the program. Wala pa sa picture yung isang kasama. Go ahead. Jonna, go ahead.
Naka-mute ka yata. Naka-mute.
Hi po, good afternoon.
Good
Good afternoon
afternoon.
po sa lahat.
Thank you,
So,
thank you.
We are very delighted po on behalf of the Guimaras Chapter for having us. We're sad to say po na hindi makaka-join si Chairman due to conflict of his schedule. Actually, last minute change of schedule po, ma'am. So, but anyways po, I'm very happy. We are very happy to be featured on your program.
This is our
And
program.
to all-
Program natin to, ma'am.
Yes. Yung program natin. So again, I'd like to greet everyone a happy afternoon and happy Mother's Day po sa lahat ng nakikinig, and to you, Go. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrei, greet ka muna. Wala ka sa picture. Andrei? Kung wala, diretso na tayo, no? Gusto kong malaman ngayon, ilan bang municipalities at barangays meron ng Guimaras? Andrei? Hindi, wala ka pa.
Yes
O
po.
sige, si Jonna muna. Jonna, go ahead. Ilang municipalities at barangays meron ng Guimaras? Coverage ng Red Cross Guimaras Chapter. Jonna? Nawawala.
Yes po. I will answer that po.
Sige,
Hello po.
go ahead.
Good afternoon. Yes po.
Si Andrei ba to? Si Andrei? Go ahead. Magsalta ka na.
Yes po. Yes po. Yes po.
So
The
ilang
province of
ilang
Guimaras po is
municipalities at
composed
barangays ang coverage ng Guimaras?
yes po. The province of Guimaras is composed po.
Ilan? Ilang municipalities at ilang barangays? Alam mo ba? O, ikaw na, Jonna, alam mo?
Ma'am, I think Sir Andrei Bon is having technical problems.
O, ikaw
po,
na
ma'am.
sumagot. Alam mo ba?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yes.
You answer na. If you cannot answer.
Province of Guimaras po is an island province that's composed by 5 municipalities with 98 barangays po, ma'am.
Okay. And where is the location ng office ng PRC sa Guimaras Chapter? So people will know, people who are listening will know where it is located.
Our previous location po was we are situated at Museo de Guimaras, provided by our local chief executive, former Governor Samuel Gumarin, Museo de Guimaras. However, last January 6, the chapter was transferred to our new building, also materialized by the strong support and their continuous support by our local government. Our now governor is Governor J.C. Raman Nava. So binigyan po tayo nila ng building funded on their own that we will be utilizing for our operations po. So now po dito kami sa Capitol Compound, San Miguel Hordan, Guimaras po, ma'am. Yung exact address natin.
So that office is located in the government provincial place, di ba? Parang located na. Pero siguro kailangan tanungin ilan ang mga volunteers naman ng PRC Guimaras Chapter? Have you been implementing the Red Cross 143?
Yes, ma'am. We do. As of date, ma'am, as of the month of April, we do have a 1,574 registered volunteers na po from different barangays of the province. Currently, out of the 98 barangays po, we already have oriented and invited 84 barangays na they are willing to join us with our mission and vision as a humanitarian organization. And we are glad to tell you that the government is really very supportive po, ma'am, sa ating mga programa dito sa Red Cross, ma'am.
Although that's good news, remember, we're auxiliary to government. We are not really, if ever the local government is supporting us, it's because they're benefiting from the Red Cross chapter in Guimaras. Meron na ba kayong blood bank sa Guimaras?
Yes po, ma'am.
Yes
po, ma'am. We are under the category po, ma'am, of blood collecting unit, blood station po.
Okay.
We have started our operation last 2019, ma'am.
Okay, that's very good, no? Kasi at least alam natin na madaling makakuha ng blood because you have a blood collection unit. Sa ngayon, siguro, can you highlight what are your major activities now sa Guimaras Chapter para people will know, even the people in Guimaras will know what are the major activities of Red Cross Chapter, Jonna?
So, for this year po, ma'am, we are continuing the advocacy. All the services of the Red Cross Red Cross organization, ma'am, is being featured to different available online platforms po. And we are having at least 4 times a week of advocacy sa different barangays po, ma'am. Naglilibot po kami every other day po, even weekends sa ating
Pero
mga
siguro
barangay po.
importante, ano yung activities na katulad ng training, safety, among others, para you can have prepare the people in case of any disaster. Anong na mga naging activities nyo? Certainly, kung wala kayong mga disaster, pwedeng you prepare the people to, just in case they have a disaster, they will know how to cope. What are your activities now sa Guimaras Chapter?
We are po, ma'am. Nagkakandak po kami ng safety trainings, occupational
Okay.
first aid, and standard first aid. And sa mga bagong recruit po nating mga 143 volunteers, we are giving them a lecture demo about basic first aid po on our safety services, and we are discussing sa kanila po, ma'am, yung importance ng organization, why do we exist, and continuous bloodletting program po, so that we can sustain the needs of Guimarães in terms of blood, ma'am.
Yes. Siguro importante, napansin nyo na volunteers plus information technology, logistics plus information
Logistics.
technology will make us always first, always ready.
Always ready.
there.
Yes.
So, siguro ang tanong ngayon will be, ano yung mga fundraising activities nyo to carry out? Kasi hindi naman pwedeng, then kailangan, in order to have funds to be able to have your logistics, yung support nyo, anong mga assets nyo, ano yung mga equipment nyo available na right now sa Guimaras Chapter. And maybe andyan na si Andrei, he can talk about the youth program. Sige, go ahead, Jonna.
So yung sa atin po ngayong mga fundraising program, we are doing good with our membership campaign, and meron po tayong mga bike events. We are planning to organize po Mr. and Miss Red Cross for Guimaras Chapter in the near months po of this year. And also we are having fun runs po and raffle.
All of those are activities to enable you to gather funds, ano? Pero
Yes.
siguro ang tanong din natin that sino mga partner agencies ninyo other than government that so that you can be active in the delivery of services sa Guimaras? Which agencies are helping you?
From our private sectors po, will be the Rotary District.
Okay.
Dito po headed by our chairman, Engineer Corpus, the current president of the Rotary District po dito, ma'am. Yung mga religious sectors po. And usually po yung mga nasa business sectors po, ma'am. Yun po yung mga always partners po natin sa ating activities.
Andito na si Andrei. Can you connect already? Andrei?
Okay, sir.
Andrei? Parang natutulog. Wala kang connection pa? I think wala pa, no? But anyway, you're showing pictures of the activities. Was that, ano yan? Ano yung pinapakita sa picture? Nakita mo? Ano yan? What activity is that? You're bringing...
We have responded po for several disasters encountered by the province po. During Typhoon Odette, we have distributed reliefs sa ating mga island barangays, which are Diwanon and Panubolon po. And while we are distributing relief, we also put up a first aid station while distributing. We also have responded during the Typhoon Julina, ma'am, to our flooded barangays. composed of
Okay.
80 families were affected. So nagbigay din po
Mm.
tayo doon ng tulong. And we also participated during the vaccination rollout po for COVID-19. And nasa at least twice a year po tayong nagme-medical mission sa iba't ibang affected po, ma'am. I think last year we have conducted medical and dental mission po sa Hordan District Jail. All PDLs or the PDLs were served po, ma'am, ng libreng gamot at dental services po at medical services po, ma'am.
I'm happy to note that, pero gusto ko lang sabihin na the back of my posts, no, ay meron akong nilagay na 7 fundamental principles. Yan ay nakalagay dun sa ating when we had our 85th biennial convention. Nakalagay yan sa program. I hope you can use it and then
Yes.
clip it or post it para young people particularly will know our fundamental principles. Not only we can read it, but it is by heart ng mga natin.
Yes,
No?
yes po.
And of course, like you identified many activities, nakapagsagawa na ba kayo ng fundraising activities sa inyong place?
Salamat, Jehanor. Kaugnay ng nakalipas na pipeline repair ng Maynila,
Our ano po, ma'am, our fund run po, color fund run.
Okay.
Join po siya, ma'am, ng ating mga RCYs,
Okay.
invited agencies po,
Mm.
and even our complementing services such as mga Navy po natin, Philippine Coast Guard, tsaka yung mga sa Army po, ma'am. Actually, very wide po yung mga nag-join given that after the long quarantine time because of COVID. So yun po yung naging first big activity po natin na which they really enjoyed po, ma'am. It was, I think it was participated by over 200 participants po.
Okay, that's good to know, no? Pero siguro let us honor your board of directors ng PRC Guimaras. Can you mention the members of the board? Because I'm sure it is opportunity for us to thank them for the active engagement in the Guimaras chapter. Go ahead.
Yes, yes.
Para
So,
makilala ng mga nanonood kung sino-sino sila.
Okay.
Sabi mo yung chairman but unable to come is of course Engineer Ruben Corpus,
Yes,
chairman
yes
ng
po.
PRC Guimaras. Sige, mention
Opo.
the others and then we will also talk to Eledia who is trying to connect now. Go ahead, Jonna. Mention mo
So,
muna yung mga board.
yung ating pong mga board came from different sectors, private individuals po, from business and other government agencies. For our schedule po, our board of directors, our current chairman po, since 1996 actually, he's been the chairman of Philippine Red Cross Guimaras Chapter. Engineer Ruben Corpus. Our vice chairman po from Academ is Vice Chairman Ruben Gamala. We also have our board secretary, Director Joyce Eledia, who is now here with us.
Yeah, we will interview her now.
And,
Go ahead.
and from Director Feruz, Director Sammy Gajardo, Director Dr. Leslie Gonzaga, Director Jaime Secchio, and Director Mary Joy Tan. We do also have Director Sunny Ong, and our Director Early Martyr, Director Neptune Pitman, Director Edwin Gallego. Our youth president is Director Kay Gabayeron, and last is Dr. Jose Medardo Labordo po, ma'am. Those are our board of directors po of the chapter.
Okay, now we're happy that your, I think, board secretary, Joyce,
Yes
be
po.
here now. Yes.
Board secretary.
Thank you very much. We'd like you to greet our listeners sa ating program, ang ating Kalinga mula sa Red Cross. And of course, today we're featuring Guimaras Chapter. As I mentioned earlier, I've been to Guimaras. Of course, ang famous dyan yung mango ng Guimaras. Pero we're not talking about the mango. We're talking about the chapter. And of course, may isa pa akong tanong, ano-ano yung mga equipment niyo, assets niyo. Pero greet muna si Director Joyce. Please greet our listeners, watchers of this program. Go ahead.
Yes, good afternoon. Really, it's a pleasure that I could join, and Guimaras will be featured today. And it's a great honor for us so that other members of especially our volunteer group, malaman nila kung ano talaga ang nangyayari dito rin sa Guimaras. Yes.
Wow, it's really great fortune that instead of waiting at later, our honored guest, our Mr. Alexander Faite, head of delegation of International Committee of the Red Cross, has already come in to the show and interfacing with our PRC Guimaras Chapter. So let us not waste the time. We're very happy that he's able to join us, and I think very important that the new ICRC for Red Cross, and I was happy to have met him at our biennial conference also and at the Red Cross. Perhaps as early as now, Mr. Alexander Faite, please greet our listeners and watchers of our Red Cross Hour called Kalinga mula sa Red Cross, meaning to say caring concern of Red Cross. Go ahead, Mr. Alexander.
Yes, mabuhay to all of you. Mabuhay to you, Ms. Vice President, and mabuhay to all those who are joining the Red Cross Hour at this time on a Sunday. And I look forward to exchanging with you today. Thank you for having me on the show.
Yes, and you heard already that we have a chapter secretary in Guimaras. You haven't been there yet, and I hope you will visit that sometime while you are here, because it's a beautiful place, and I think they have the best mangoes in the country to begin with. Yes. So to continue, I hope you don't mind. The Guimaras also has the youth. Andrei Bon Alegria, Red Cross Youth. Can you now speak? Meron ka na bang audio? O sige.
Yes po. Hello. Hello po sa mga naman nanonood po. I'm Andrei Alegria from Guimaras Chapter po. And it's good to having you guys here listening to us. That's all.
Yes. So you're very fortunate because the head of delegation of ICRC is listening to you also. And in the interface, you will be able to know what ICRC is also doing in the Philippines. Maybe the first question that I'd like to ask is, where were you posted, Mr. Alexander Faite, before coming to the Philippines? Which country were you posted before?
The mission just preceding this one was in Indonesia for 5 years, so it wasn't too far away. But previous to that, I was in head of delegation in Yemen, and prior to that, I was a deputy head of delegation in Somalia and quite a few missions in Africa. So last mission was not too far. Those before were further far.
So clearly, you have a wealth of experiences already, and coming to the Philippines, we hope it will not be a difficult struggle. But maybe the first question we would like to ask you, what were the challenges you encountered in your posting which you felt were truly difficult to maneuver? If I might ask that difficult question, challenging question to you, Mr. Alexander.
Do you mean in all the postings or only in the Philippines?
Well, both. In the postings, which one was difficult? And of course, in the Philippines, now you're in the Philippines. Go ahead.
So I suppose that the probably one of the most challenging in my previous postings was the situation of conflict, which I experienced especially in Yemen
Yes.
and in Somalia. Why? Well, because for instance in Yemen there were intensive air operations from the coalition, and there was quite a few air attacks especially during the night on Sana'a. We were not too much in danger, in fact, because ICRC and the Yemeni Red Crescent, we have procedures, and we notify our presence, our location, or the location of our residences to all parties to the conflict. So they knew where we were, and they were taking great care to avoid hitting us. But still,
Yes.
it was a bit of a challenge. And for the rest, but it's that's the thing that comes to my mind. But the other dimension that I can see is, of course, the enormity of the challenge of assisting a population, and sometimes you don't know where to start because the needs are so big that you have the impression sometimes that what you do is only a limited part of what should be done. So can also be a challenge.
Yeah. Really, that's a problem. And I think as our Guimaras chapter listens to what you're sharing, the challenge also for us, because Guimaras is an island province, and the Philippines is, of course, consists of 7,100 islands. It is unlikely that you will visit all the 7,100 islands, but definitely if a disaster strikes or any major projects to respond for ICRC, I think you will have the opportunity to visit as many islands there. So maybe the question that I would like to ask you in between is what particular areas in the Philippines right now is ICRC engaged in the PRC? If you have been updated on that, I'm sure. Where are you now deeply engaged in the Philippines?
With the PRC, of course, we have a long-standing relationship and
Yes.
cooperation. And this is something, the ICRC has a specific mandate, but wherever we are, and the Philippines is no exception, we have extremely strong interaction with the Philippines. So far, our interaction was mainly for the southern part of the country, Mindanao, where
Yes.
where we have the bulk of our field presence. But as it happens, and as you know, last Friday I met your Chairman Gordon,
Chairman, yes.
and I discussed with him ways to also increase cooperation in other parts of the country. Visayas is one of them. The other one is the north, because we cannot forget that the Philippines is in a region which is experiencing some tensions. And how do we in South China Sea, in the West Philippine Sea, we know that there has been some elements and flashpoints, and how could we better be ready for anything is something that I have discussed with Chairman Gordon, and which I will further discuss with the Secretary General Pang in the coming weeks.
Yes, excellent. Of course, last May 8th, like the chapter here, Guimaras, we celebrated the World Red Crescent Day, And of course, in celebrating this event, we particularly put emphasis on the work that World Red Cross, of course, ICRC particularly, which really is engaged in addressing conflicts. That's why I mentioned to the chapter at my back is really the 7 fundamental principles of the Red Cross, which is, to my mind, must be in the heart and mind of all of the chapters that we have. And of course, the Red Cross members, like the no less than Mr. Alexander Faite, as head of delegation of the International Committee of the Red Cross. So maybe the next interesting question, or maybe the delegates participate and ask what clearly right now is the ICRC major interest in the Philippines to carry out, either to continue something that's already ongoing or to begin something that hasn't been started. I'm sure Mr. Faite would be able to identify potential based on the discussion, of course, with the chairman, where the chairman thinks ICRC should go, and where ICRC thinks Philippines would be a good area to undertake those projects. Go ahead, Mr. Alexander.
Yeah, well, as you said, Ms. Vice President, the ICRC focuses on situation of conflict,
Conflict,
and therefore our reaction is mainly geared towards that situation. So what do? We try to assist to the best of our ability and in close coordination with the Philippine Red Cross to assist people who are victims of the conflict, either because they have been displaced, either because their houses has been destroyed, as in the case of Mahawi, of course, and that sort of thing. We try to also respond to humanitarian needs, be them, sort of a food, non-food dimension. So we try to have as large a response as possible. What we also do, which is perhaps not as well known, is visits to detaining authorities. So we visit prisons, quite a few prisons in this country, with, I have to say, one of the best supports from the authorities in the world. The Filipino authorities are very forthcoming in allowing the ICRC to visit places of detention. This is a very important part of our program. There is unfortunately a situation of overcrowding, which is there, and we are working with the authorities. Last but not least, or the next item perhaps, is training, elements of training, because we believe that in order to have a better armed and security forces, it's important to do training with them. And this is also something that we do with the armed forces of the Philippines, with the police of the Philippines. Lately, 2 weeks ago, I have signed an MOU with the Philippine Coast Guards because they are also interested to have more information on applicable international law and standards. So this is also an element, a strong element, an important part of the work, which is the training in international humanitarian law and other relevant norms of international law.
Yeah.
Many of these activities are indeed carried out with or in coordination with the Filipino Red Cross. So we know each other very well. We have, of course, we have contact at the level of headquarters, and as I said, I met Chairman Gordon last Friday. But we think it is also quite crucial to maintain strong and close interaction between ICRC sub-offices. We have 5 in Mindanao, with the sub-offices, with the branches, the provincial structures of the Filipino Red Cross. And I think that the cooperation is, as I said, one of the best that I had the ability to experience throughout my ICRC career.
Yeah. I am familiar with the program of restoring family links, and I think it is so noteworthy that efforts to help people in prison is very noteworthy, because some people don't realize that this is a very important part, not only in armed conflict, but people who have been denied the freedom to be able to move around because of whatever offenses they have committed. And I'm very happy that you saw for yourself the idea of having visiting these people. Maybe you can, how familiar, I will ask Guimaras the chapter so that we can interface. How familiar are you now? Are you able also to undertake that, visiting the prison. Joyce and of course our Secretary Jonna and Joyce, can you comment on the program of Guimaras related to what ICRC really is doing in the country? Go ahead, Jonna.
So for our, good afternoon, sir, Alexander Faite. Thank you for giving us your time
Go
our
ahead.
program. So our engagement po with our
Nag-rejoin lang po kayo at magbabalik po tayo sa ilang mga paalala.
Grabe, init ng panahon. Kaya eto tayo, tutok sa electric fan, babad sa aircon, pay-pay here, mini fan there. Pero ano bang mahalagang gawin din natin lalo pag tayo ay nasa labas? Hydrate, hydrate, hydrate! Para maiwasan ang mga summer illness gaya ng heat stroke at flu. Always freshen yourself. Paglubos na pinawisan, maglinis ng katawan. At kung maaari ay magpalit ng damit para mapreskuhan at hindi magkaroon ng skin allergies or rashes. Iwasan din ang prolonged and unprotected sun exposure dahil nagdudulot ito ng sunburn, blisters at iba pang skin diseases. Be safe and enjoy the summer season. A friendly message from the Philippine Broadcasting Service at Radyo Pilipinas.
Career woman, my business, nasa service, work from home o housewife. Iba-iba man ang trabaho ng ating mga nanay, ang kanilang pagiging ina pa rin ang pinaka-nakakabilib, di ba? Ligpit dito, asikaso doon, linis dito, linis doon. 24/7, walang pahinga, walang day off. Ang kanilang pagiging ilaw ng tahanan, ang the best nilang ginagampanan. Kahit sabayan pa ng ibang pagsubok ang bawat araw. Napapagod, oo, pero hindi nagrereklamo. Kaya isang espesyal na pagsaludo at pagpapahalaga sa lahat ng ina. Thank you. Maraming salamat and Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day!
Mula sa Philippine Broadcasting Service at Radyo Pilipinas.
Salamat, Jehanor. Kaugnay ng nakalipas na pipeline repair ng Maynilad, mahigit 11,000 pamilya sa Metro Manila na bigyan ng malinis na tubig ng PRC. Narito si PRC Red Reporter, Laila Obtenalia para sa detalye.
Mahigit 11,000 pamilya sa Parañaque at Pasay na naapektuhan ng water service interruption ng Maynilad dahil sa kinukumpuning pipeline sa Makati ang nabigyan ng malinis na tubig ng PRC. 3 sa 28 water tankers ng Philippine Red Cross ang agad na ipinadala ni Philippine Red Cross Chairman Richard Gordon. 100,000 litro ng malinis at maiinom na tubig ang naibahagi ng PRC sa mga apektadong residente simula March 6 hanggang 7.
Nagpapasalamat talaga kami sa Philippine Red Cross. Sila ang kauna-unahan na nagbigay sa amin ng tubig dito na libre.
Okay, at nagbabalik po tayo sa ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross Radyo Pilipinas at nasa ikalawang hagbagdan na po tayo ng ating programa. Governor Cora?
Yes, I think the feature there, the picture showed water is life. And
Yes,
this is
opo.
what we provide in the Philippine Red Cross to our means of wash water, no, safety services.
Yes po,
Continuing on, I would like to ask the Guimaras Chapter whether you have had the opportunity to tell the communities about the international humanitarian law. Have you had seminars on on IHL among the youth? The Andrei Alegria is here. He is Red Cross Youth, PRC Guimaras Chapter. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Hello. To answer the question po, during our training at Youth Volunteer Formation course po, we tackled about the IHL or the International Humanitarian Law to the students, to the
To the
participants po.
students, yes.
Yes po. And then we just like binigyan mo namin sila ng binigyan sila namin po sila ng kaalaman tungkol sa International Humanitarian Law, kung ano ba ito at kung paano ito ginagamit or saan ito nag-activate po.
Yeah. So you're giving opportunity to the students to know about the international humanitarian law. How about Joyce, Eledia? Could you share what your familiarity with the international humanitarian law, Joyce?
Yes, actually, most of our board of directors, they have been elected lately, and it's one of our program on our plan is to strengthen about our knowledge about the IHL. So it would be included in one of our seminars for specifically for the board of directors.
Yeah. I think it is noteworthy because sometimes in our business, many activities, we forget the fundamental principles for that matter. And also, like he shared, the visits to the prisons because they're the ones affected affected in terms of their freedom to move. So it is going to be helpful if you also are aware of the under the IHL to know the conditions of people in prisons. And it's noteworthy that Mr. Alexander Faite emphasized this, the people who have been detained because they have committed some against the law but are still incarcerated. And this is really a problem also in the many prisons. I'm glad Mr. Alexander Fete mentioned that that's also part and parcel of restoring family links, whether here and abroad. And we have, by the way, also have been assisting Filipinos who have families abroad. And I think noteworthy also is that the Chairman Gordon has been trying to modernize by having equipment accessible to the communities that need them the most. And I'm happy and I hope that you will have in the future, Mr. Alexander will be visiting the other hardship areas so that you can say that you might have been to other countries like Yemen and Somalia, but we also have some areas here that may not be looking like Yemen or Somalia, but people also struggle because of the economic conditions, and the Red Cross seeks to my mind, make sure that we're able to reach as many disadvantaged people in this. Do you have any question, Jonna, to our IHL, our head of delegation of International Committee of the Red Cross? Go ahead, Jonna. I'm sure you're interested to know to get to know Mr. Alexander, and I hope he can visit Guimaras because it's a beautiful place. I'm already extending the invitation. Go ahead, Jonna.
Yes.
Hi, sir. Actually, Pugo, we are celebrating the Manggahan 2023 right
Gahanan.
now.
It's a
Right now.
festival of mangoes.
Yes. And we do love to have you here, po, ma'am. Maybe
So you're
until
extending your invitation.
for you to try
Mr.
our
Alexander Fete already as early as now so that he can savor
yes,
the sweetest mangoes in the country.
yes, po. Yes, ma'am.
Which island is that?
Guimaras.
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 Island. Yes.
It's,
Let me.
you travel from Iloilo, isn't that? Where do you travel that? From Iloilo?
From
How
Iloilo.
do you get to Guimaras?
From Iloilo.
Iloilo. You take a boat, you take a plane to Iloilo, and then Iloilo you take a boat. It's an island province. So Mr. Alexander already took note of that. Anyway,
Yes.
20
I'm going-
minutes.
anyway, Mr. Alexander only wanted to have a few minutes with us. He has many things to do. So I will just like him to give his final message to the people watching us. And we're very happy that he spoke about the tie-up with ICRC and PRC. And of course, we look forward to hearing more about his participation in with PRC in not just celebrating the World Red Cross Red Crescent, which we had last May 8th, but also we want him to share his experiences in other countries that he had stayed before, like he mentioned Yemen. And maybe the last words that we will ask him, no? Because he only requested 20 minutes. Best words that you can describe to the Philippine Red Cross and its volunteers. Your message to the volunteers of Philippine Red Cross and of course to the people you have met in the Philippine Red Cross. Go ahead, Mr. Alexander.
Okay, first of all, I would like to say that I have just found Guimaras on Google Maps, so I'm seeing where it is. So, Jonna, if it's and Andrei, if it's possible, I will try my best to visit you. And now, with regards to your very kind suggestion for a few last words, Ms. Vice President, I would like to say perhaps the following. First of all, it's not my first visit to the Philippines. I came here 15 years ago. In those days, I came in a different capacity. I was a regional legal advisor, and I worked already with Chairman Gordon on the so-called IHL bill that was introduced before Senate and has now become law. So I'm very happy to be in the Philippines. Thanks God, the situation in the Philippines is not as bad as what I could experience in countries such as Yemen or Somalia. You are a country which overall is doing much better. However, there are two things I would like to say. That first of all, there are still people in need, and of course, we are very keen to work with within the Red Cross movement to.
Guess we were fortunate that, like other countries, where there's the great conditions also.
Yes, I mean, the Philippines, you are doing much better than many countries that I visited with the ICRC,
Yes.
but there are still some needs, for which I think the response of the Red Cross is quite important. And what I will finish off with is the outstanding reputation of your National Red Cross Society. It is known worldwide. It is known for its ability to do things and also its great interaction with the ICRC. Overall, the ICRC in the Philippines has a very big privilege to be working with the Philippine Red Cross Society, with the Filipino authorities. We actually consider the Philippines as one of the best.
As widespread, maybe word.
Yes, widespread, and we, very often first mission delegates are sent to the Philippines because it is such a great country to be starting one's professional life in the ICRC. So, and it's been a historical sort of place for the ICRC, and we look forward to continuing the great cooperation.
Thank you very much. And again, after you have visited some of the areas, we'll invite you again so you can share your experiences visiting our chapters and, of course, visiting our country as a whole. Because I doubt if you can visit all the 7,100 islands, but you can select, and you already checked Guimaras. So
Yeah.
you already have an
Guimaras.
invitation from Guimaras.
With Nueva Valencia and Barcelona.
Yes. So
Okay,
with that, I want to thank you.
We are looking
Barcelona
forward-
here in the Philippines.
Sorry?
Nueva Valencia is one of the
Have you
towns-
visited other areas already? In the short space
I
of
have
time?
been to
You've been here, not yet.
Mindoro. I have been to Mindoro, and
Which places have you visited?
I have been to Mindanao and to Mindoro. But
Mindanao
I
and Mindoro.
have not
Okay.
yet been to Guimaras, so
Okay,
it's the
Ah,
next
in-
one on my list.
Mindoro, yes. I was a regional director of the Department of Social Welfare in Southern Luzon. So I'm also quite familiar with the areas and with the provinces covered there. So this is all for now. Thank you very much, Mr. Freddy, for giving us the time. You requested for only 20 minutes, but you came in early as opposed to just waiting. It's only we have last 10 minutes. Maybe final words, your message to the Philippine Red Cross. Final words
Yes.
from you, Mr. Pete.
Final words to the Philippine Red Cross is I am also very I have I attended your 75th anniversary recently, a few weeks back, and this is where I met you, Ms. Vice President, and I was amazed at the enthusiasm with all the various chapter representative entering and showing so much pride, I think, to represent their own location, and but also represent their own chapter of the Philippine Red Cross. That was quite a lively event. I'm happy I experienced that. I don't know if you were there, Jonna or Andrei, but it was quite a significant moment. And and coming back to the colleagues from Guimaras, let's hope I can visit you one day. I see there is also on Google Maps a Trappist monastery, so that seems interesting. And
Yes.
all my best wishes to the Philippine Red Cross.
Thank you very much. And my final word message to you is we may not be able to change the structure of the universe, but maybe by raising our voice through this program, we can pursue the greatest of all causes, peace on earth and goodwill among men. And I think you have brought us goodwill through the ICRC, and looking forward to meeting you also again personally, and inviting you as well in this radio program in the future visits that you have in other areas of the country. Thank you very, very much, Mr. Alexander Faite. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for having me on the program. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Okay, Gob Cora, hingan na rin natin ng mga messages,
Thank you.
last messages sa
So,
ating mga
now
chapter.
tayo na lang, ano? Andrei, hindi kita masyadong na-interview. Andrei Bon Alegria, are you still there? And Joyce? Joyce Eledia,
Yes
nandiyan
po,
ba kayo?
I'm
Gob.
still here.
Yeah. Greet ka naman. Mag-greet ka na dahil sandali na lang ang time natin.
Mag-final message na po sila.
Magkwento ka ng mga experience mo para marinig ano ang mga
Gob.
nagawa mo na sa
Gob.
youth program.
Gob
Go
Cora.
ahead.
Sa youth program po ay meron po kaming mga activities like the May 8 celebration po ng World Writers Day po. We do have a tree planting activity po dun sa isang barangay, which is dun po nagtanim po kami ng mga kahoy in order for preserve our mother nature. And also here po, I am also a recruit trainer po, instructor. And based on my experience po, napaka-significant po talaga ng mga trainings po dito sa Philippine Red Cross, which is very, ano po sa akin,
Okay.
beneficial.
Joyce,
Yes.
your message to your colleagues in the board and of course to all the members.
I
Joyce,
hope
go ahead.
next time,
Joyce Eledia.
Governor, and next time I hope that our chairman will be able to join likewise. But as member of the board of directors, as a board secretary, just like to share my heartfelt opportunity that I was really to serve Red Cross, and yun ang pinaka-mimithi ko talaga na makatulong at maka-reach out sa mga tao. I've been a public official. That's why I know you, Governor, when you were the SWD.
Yes.
Chair.
Thank you.
This Red Cross opportunity, being a member of the board, is parang ibang na-reach ko na yung limit na gusto ko talaga, ito ang gusto ko sa buhay ko na mangyayari. And
Yes.
yes, it was really a challenging moment for me because it has been many times that I was asked by the chairman to attend the biennial convention, and it was only last April that I was able to attend the biennial convention, and it was really a very challenging opportunity and eye-opening, and pwede naman, yung mga ginagawa talaga is ginagawa na rin namin, but only probably on documentation, and really want to be at the podium finish, and we want to akyat kami sa stage lahat. Sabi ko nang mag-meeting kami, lahat na directors, akyat tayo next time na mag-biennial. Napakaganda talaga. And isang nangyayari talaga na yung dito sa board sa Red Cross na Guimaras is we have gained partnership with other sectors, especially
Yes.
we have a good relationship with with the local government units, with the provincial government units, with the municipal government units. We have good relationship because they are supporting us, especially on our Good Samaritan, and they have really a bulk of the budget for that. So I hope that next time when we could attend the biennial convention, we could meet likewise the governor and with the other members of the.
I did not correct our guest, Mr. Alexander Faite, that I am not a vice president. I am vice chairman. So, but anyway, I did not feel that it was necessary to correct that. But I think that in the same vein, in the chapters, that we need a very strong board in our chapters so that we can raise more money, we can have more equipment for to strengthen our chapter capacity, and of course reach more through our Red Cross 143. So final message, Joyce.
Si Ma'am Jonna,
as,
naman po. At
administrator
medyo
of
overtime
PRC
na tayo.
Guimaras Chapter, go ahead.
Again,
May konti pang time.
Overtime na po tayo, Gob.
Tatagalin because we only have 3 minutes before the end. So I'd like to
sige.
extend my my heartfelt gratitude po for having us featured our program and to feature the projects and the programs of the Guimaras Chapter. Hope to meet you again soon, Vice. And thank you. Thank you again. God bless po.
Thank you, Ma'am Jonna. Thank you, Ma'am Joyce. Nagkita po tayo last biennial. Anyway, Gob Cora, ano pong final message niyo po?
Ang final message ko, I will just read the prayer for the nation because on Mother's Day, we need this prayer. Lord, let me be the change I want to see, to do with strength and wisdom all that needs to be done, and become the hope that I can be. Set me free from my fears and hesitations. Grant me the courage and humility. Fill me with spirit to face the challenge and start the change I long to see. Even if I'm not the light, I can be the spark in faith, service, and communion. Let us start the change we want to see, the change that begins in me and the Philippine Red Cross, particularly chapter in terms of Guimaras Chapter. Maraming salamat sa mga nakinig, nakiisa dito sa ating programa, and of course, the board, the chairman, and the administrator, and the youth of Guimaras Chapter. Thank you very, very much.
Okay po, at dyan na po nagtatapos ang ating programang Kalinga Hatid ng Red Cross sa Radyo Pilipinas. Hanggang sa susunod po muli na linggo, kita-kita tayo. Ito po si Edison Enrique. Susunod na po ang pagbabalita hatid po ni Ma'am Shane Nieva. At kasunod po ang programa ni Ma'am Vance Fernandez, Pulso ng Bayan. 1 minuto bago mag-alas 4 ng hapon.
We know you're always on the go. Pero ang mahuli sa balita is always a big no-no. Kaya Radyo Pilipinas is here to keep you updated. Reliable news delivered to you as it happens. Para sure na wala kang mamimiss. Bookmark our website at www.radyopilipinas.ph. Follow us on Twitter at Radyo Pilipinas 1 and like us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/Radyo Pilipinas 1. Together, let's dismiss disinformation. Radyo Pilipinas, 738 AM.
Oras 4 p.m.
Radyo Pilipinas, Network Balita, ngayon.
Magandang hapon, Pilipinas. Narito ang mga balita sa oras na ito. Tinukoy ng National Grid Corporation of the Philippines ang hindi inaasahang pagkawala ng 2 unit ng isang malaking power plant na pangunahing dahilan ng power outages sa Luzon noong Mayo 8. Dapat daw ay hindi na maramdaman ng mga consumers sa Luzon ang grid outage na ito dahil ng agarang pagsalo ng nalalabing linya. Ngunit nagkaroon ng hindi inaasahang pagkawala sa isang generating plant at nagdulot ito ng tuluyang pagkawala ng balanse sa supply and demand, kaya naman nangyari ang red alert. Dagdag pa na NGCP, bago nangyari ang biglaang pagbitaw ng power plant, nagkaroon na rin ng pagpalya ng mga planta sa Luzon na wala sa napagkasundo ang schedule. Tinatayang nasa 54 milyong pisong halaga ng puslit na krudo ang nasabat ng mga tauhan ng Bureau of Customs Intelligence Group sa loob ng MV Veronica sa subport ng Sual, Pangasinan. Sa isinagawang operasyon ng mga otoridad, lula ng 12 compartments ng barkong MV Veronica 1, ang tinatayang aabot sa 1,350 kiloliters ng smuggled diesel fuel. Ang operasyon ay sinagawa ng pinagsanib sa natauhan ng Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service ng Enforcement and Security Service at ng Port Operations Division ng Subport of Sual, kasama ang Philippine Coast Guard, Philippine Navy at Philippine National Police Maritime Group. Pinuri naman ni Customs Commissioner Bien Rubio ang matagumpay na operasyon. Katatagan ng Pilipino sa gitna ng mga hamon, tampok sa isang online docu-festival. May ulat si DK Lazarte.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas. Report.
Inulunsad kamakailan ng International Center for Non-for-Profit Law at ng Caucus of Development NGO Networks ang online documentary festival na nagtatampok ng katatagan ng mga Pilipino sa gitna ng mga pagsubok at iba pang hamon. Ang International Center for Non-for-Profit Law na nag-ooperate sa 100 bansa sa buong mundo ay nakikipagtulungan sa civil society, mga pamahalaan at international community para tulungan ang mga karapatan na magsama-sama magpahayag ng saloobin at pagtipon-tipon ng mapayapa. Samantala, ang Caucus of Development NGO Networks ang kumakatawan sa 1,600 na non-government organization at people's organization para maimpluwensyahan ang mga pampublikong pulisiya, pangunahin ang civil society at palakasin pa ang paghahatid ng social development work sa Pilipinas. Pinangamagatang The Power of Civil Society ang mga kwento ng mga katatagan, bayanihan at pag-asa. Ang online documentaries ay mapapanood sa Facebook ng Code-NGO. Kabilang sa likha ng mga online documentaries, ito nga Process, Convisnet, Erda, Igorota, Kids Island PH, Persa Lakas, Lokal, Com, Siga Latala, at ito nga ISO, maging ito nga Laura Vicuna at Merlani. Ito si Digay Sarate para sa Radyo Pilipinas.
DSWD-FO1 tinipon ng Local Social Welfare and Development Officer sa Rehiyon 1 upang mapalakas ang ugnayan sa pagpapatubad ng 4Ps. Mula Tayug may ulat si Mildred Coquia.
Radyo Pilipinas. Radyo Pilipinas. Report.
Tinipon ng Department of Social Welfare and Development Field Office 1 ang lahat ng Local Social Welfare and Development Officer sa Rehiyon 1 para patuloy na palakasin ang partnership sa pagpapatupad ng 4Ps sa pamamagitan ng consultation dialogue. Ang mga nagwagi sa 2022 Search for Model LGUs implementing 4Ps, kabilang ang Pagudpod Ilocos Norte, Vigan City Ilocos Sur, Rosario La Union at Aguilar Pangasinan ay nagbahagi ng kanilang magagandang gawi na naging inspirasyon ng mga kalahok upang mas higpitan ang ugnayan ng kani-kanilang LGU sa DSWD Field Office 1. Higit pa rito, ang mga estratehiya at inisyatiba ay binuo at ipinakita upang angkop na tumugon sa mga gap o puwang ng Social Welfare and Development Indicator. Ito ay isang case management tool na ginagamit ng 4Ps upang tumpak na masukat ang antas ng well-being ng mga benepisyaryo ng sambahayan ng 4Ps. Manipod Dayug, Pangasinan, Marimildred Estrada Coquia, Radyo Pilipinas.
Yan ang mga balita sa oras na ito. Manatiling nakatutok sa Radyo Pilipinas para sa news updates. Ako si Shinieva para sa Radyo Pilipinas.